Hey everybody, it's Jay with Drive Minnesota, and today I have the very first comparison video. We have a new Kia Seltos behind me, and over here we have a new Honda HRV. Okay, now that I'm inside, what I always want to do in these vehicles, when I think of terms of safety and security, I always want to go front to back. And so right away in the front, what am I worried about? I'm worried about collisions, forward collisions. I'm also worried about staying inside the lane. So I'm going to go ahead and access the user menu here and see what this vehicle has. And as I go into this Seltos S Turbo, what I'm going to find is that it does have forward safety active assist features, which means that it's not only going to alert me, but it'll also apply the brakes for me. It also has, if I go back here, it also has some lane safety. It has lane keeping assist. Again, an active feature where it doesn't only warn me about going outside the lanes, but the vehicle will actually actively make steering wheel corrections to make sure that I don't run into any traffic to my left or right. Now, working my way back to the sides, I always want to make sure that if I am changing lanes or somebody's in my blind spot, how do I know? Well, this vehicle is equipped with blind spot safety warning device here as well. And whether it is an active assist or warning, it is active. So this one does have the active assist. Again, for Kia, what that means is if I'm merging over and somebody's still back there, it'll apply the opposite front brake, causing the vehicle to veer back into our lane. Now, in terms of the back, what I look for is in a parking lot and then also the rear camera quality. Sometimes the rear camera quality is not always there. So if I go back, I'm looking for any rear cross traffic alert type stuff. I see they got it under parking safety. Rear cross traffic safety is checked in here. So this vehicle is equipped with rear cross traffic warning. And if we take a look at the backup camera, we've got a nice big screen right here. I'll kind of always hold this from the driver's view. But if we shift, it actually is a pretty crisp screen. Okay, now we're in the Honda HRV Sport. And again, working our way from the front to the back, if I go into the menu here, which you can't do because these are all analog. Everything up here is an analog display minus a small LCD inside the fuel and miles per gallon gauge here on the right. And I've got to push an old school trip button to scroll through that. This vehicle does not have any advanced forward safety features. It's just not there. If we look on the sides for any type of side safety features, again, we've got the standard mirror, so it's the old look behind you. Now, I will say that this C-pillar is not great for that, and I'll give you a look here. So as I pan around the A, B, and then C, that's what I was talking about. If you want to get back there and look at your blind spot, you can't. There's a big C-pillar that's blocking the view, essentially. Okay, and then going all the way to the rear, there is no options for, rear cross traffic, or let's just check out that backup camera, though. Again, it'll always be from driver's view. Not bad. If I move the vehicle left and right, it does change orange to show me where the vehicle is going to go. Okay, now that we're inside the Kia Seltos again, going over comfort and convenience. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto comes standard, as does the Honda HRV, but just the interiors of these two vehicles couldn't be more different. Inside the Seltos, I feel like it has modern styling. And it looks premium. If we have this kind of gloss trim, the speakers have texture and shape to them. The speakers down here have texture and shape. Down here we have a leather wrapped shift knob, manual temperature controls. This display is nice and big. It's easy for me to access. Everything feels really good here. The seats are cloth, but they are leather trimmed. And if you can see this, we'll go ahead and take a look here. We've got leather on the outside and premium cloth on the inside. And one of the other things I wanted to point out, I kind of knocked that C-pillar on the Honda, but if you look back here at this C-pillar, there's a window cutout. But other than that, it's not too bad. It does have a heated seats right here. The seats are heated. And yeah, it feels really nice. We got the steering wheel, goes in and out, up and down. And I don't really have any complaints up in the front here. Okay, getting ready to get in the back. Something I'm a stickler for is I want to make sure that I'm comfortable behind myself. I'm 6 feet tall, and so I got the front set for myself. Nice wide rear door here, very important, kind of reminiscent of the Telluride in that aspect. So as we get on in here, and shut the door and get seated, it feels okay. I got you know, plenty of headroom here. Elbow rest comfortably. My knees are not hitting the seat. My legs are not cramped by the floor design or anything like that. If I want to set I need a place for my drink. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out this center rest here. I've got 2 cup holders. Yeah, the rear seat is not bad. Okay, and then lastly with the cargo room, just gonna grab this handle right here. It'll flip right down. And then opening up, it is a manual lift gate. Seem to have plenty of room in the back. This is also a neat feature. It has a hidden drop floor. So if we need to increase the space, now I can really see that almost 63 cubic feet of cargo room in the back. Okay, now we're inside the Honda HRV, and when you get in here, you're gonna immediately notice it doesn't feel as nice. It's not their base model, it's one up from their base model, but it still feels like a very basic trim. Bare bones everything. It's full cloth seating. It's gray on gray. The doors have cloth lining. It's matte black plastic. We do have some glosso around the temperature controls. One thing that really drives me nuts about this car though is this center console. It's just really not usable for anything other. The shifter takes up the entire console. I don't have a spot for my phone. I don't really have a spot for anything. It's not usable. What they do have is underneath here is open, and so they've got a tray here, and that's where you're supposed to set your phone. The USB port, there's 2 USB ports down here, and so you hook up your phone to Apple CarPlay, and you're supposed to set your phone down there. And it just absolutely drives me crazy because I don't know if that is an intended safety feature to where you don't have access to your phone. If it is, I don't like it. I would rather have access to my phone. I'd rather have easy access to my phone. This is just not convenient at all. Also, this cup holder, you've got this elbow thing here, and you have 1 cup holder, but in order to really access the second one, you've got to reach all the way in here to push this up, and now you have full range of or access to these cup holders, and so you have some additional storage back here. But it's really weird because when you set this down, I mean, you're not gonna just have this up all the time. When you set it down, it cuts out that space. I'm not really sure if they didn't know what to do with that extra space, but for whatever reason, that's just kind of how it is. Other than that, like I said, you're gonna get in here. It's gonna feel like a bare bones interior, and it sort of is. So again, it is set up for me up in front there. You still have a wide-ish opening in the back here. Not as wide, I wouldn't say, but as we jump inside here and shut the door, I do feel like there's more room forward of my knee. Not a lot, but I'm actually, you know, I guess it does feel like a couple inches at least. Otherwise, I do feel like there is less headroom. So especially on the outside here, this is really coming in really close. I do feel like kind of leaning back away from that as well. And if I want to put my drink somewhere, looks like I've only got one. It's going to be down here at the feet. There is no center armrest there. Now, one actually really neat feature about this car, let me show you real quick. This is definitely a redeeming quality in terms of convenience. Being able to lift this seat up, and as soon as you push this lever down, it locks that seat in the up position, and now I could fit something like a bike, or if my dogs wanted to go back there, whatever the case might be. That's super convenient. That is actually pretty nice. So way to go, Honda, on that one. Although if I do want to put the floor down for cargo, I ran into a bit of a problem. You have to have these headrests up to sit comfortably. And so it's a very similar one-handed release, but as soon as you put it down, you figure out that, oh shoot, I mean, it's going to take two hands here to get the headrests inside. So now that I got the headrest down, that did fold flat. And again, this is going to be a manual lift gate. And then we can see right in there as well, it does have plenty of room to store stuff. And the spare tire is right underneath there, so that is not a false floor. Or at least it's not a false floor. It's going to give you some additional storage, the spares in there. And yeah, that's just kind of it. Now the only downside of that headrest situation is when I fold it back up, what happens is that headrest kind of stabs you in the back. So you have to constantly push it back up for anybody to be back here, and then it's fine. But I don't know, kind of a mild annoyance. Okay, the third category that we're going to go over is performance. Now, both of these engines are going to be quite a bit different, and that's kind of where this isn't quite a fair comparison between these two vehicles, because this S Turbo does have the upgraded engine. This has the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine making 175 horsepower and 195 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot for this light little vehicle. I can tell you the differences of driving these two vehicles couldn't be more different, especially when you're comparing the 1.6 turbocharged Seltos engine with 195 foot-pounds of torque to the Honda's 1.8 liter engine, naturally aspirated engine, making 127 foot-pounds of torque. So dramatically different engine specs. This is the only engine that is available in the Hondas. With the Kia Seltos, you actually have two options. It does come standard with the 2 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, which makes 146 horsepower and 132 foot-pounds of torque, which is going to be comparable. It's going to edge out the Honda slightly, but when you jump up to the 1.6 turbo, then it's a night and day difference. These vehicles drive and handle completely different, and I point that out because in terms of passing somebody on the highway, I've done it a couple times with this HRV, and it's not easy. This thing does not have a lot of power at highway speed. It's less noticeable at lower speeds because they're both such light vehicles. They both feel zippy kind of in town, but on the highway, that's where you dramatically see a big difference. So Our second to last category is reliability. Also very important to a lot of people. With the Honda HRV, JD Power actually has rated this vehicle 3 out of 5 stars for reliability, which is average for the segment. In terms of the manufacturer, Honda overall, in terms of dependability, again in the JD Power rankings, it is below the industry average. In terms of the warranty, it's the basic bumper-to-bumper warranty is 36,000 miles for Honda, 60,000 miles for the powertrain warranty. Again, that's pretty average across the industry. Kia is above industry average in terms of dependability and leads the industry with a 60,000 mile bumper-to-bumper and 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. Okay, so the last category I've got is value. Is it a good value? So I think this is an outstanding value. I think Kia has hit it out of the park with the Seltos. Once you get in one of these, you're going to immediately tell that this is just a vehicle that's on a much different level in terms of quality and features and really just bang for your buck. So I absolutely think that this delivers great value in terms of safety and security, in terms of comfort and convenience, in terms of performance, in terms of reliability, and finally our last category, value. So again, I'm Jay with Drive Minnesota. Thanks for watching. If you are in the market, I'm here at Tom Kadlec Kia in Rochester, Minnesota. I'd love to see you and love to get you in a vehicle that's going to fit you and it's going to make you excited to drive. We'll see you next time.